Welcome back to another Pokemon Throwback Thursday, where every single Thursday morning I post a video where we cover everything vintage. Today we are taking a deep dive into Southern Islands and Wizards of the Coast Black Star promos. And then of course we're going to be checking out Gold Stars, Shinings, Crystals, Team Rocket Returns, Call of Legends. We got a bunch of cards we're going to be checking out today. And if you guys really do love vintage, if you guys could do me a massive favor and hop over to my Instagram and please give me a follow, I would really appreciate that. I always post a ton of my awesome vintage Pokemon cards. And if I'm not posting my cards, I'm posting when new sets or cards get revealed or if there's good deals. It's honestly a ton of great, useful Pokemon information, so definitely check that out. And of course, if you guys like this content, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a like and comment. If you do leave a comment, I comment back to every single person. I think it's the least I can do. Might take me a few days. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves too, is all these other creators. I mean, they'll maybe comment back to a couple people. Some don't even comment back at all, which just blows my mind. And of course, if you guys have any questions, please drop them in my What If Wednesday videos and you will actually be featured in the video. And then too, I do want to know your guys' favorite card from today's video, so please drop that down in the comments. But all right, let's get to it. We are starting off with the Southern Island Pokemon cards. In my opinion, one of the greatest Mew cards ever to exist. So we got a sale here on the first. Near Mint, Reverse Holo, $161. Next, we got the Meryl, does not say condition. I did mark near mint or lightly played. Sold for $15 or best offer with $4 in shipping. Next, we got the Togepi. I'm telling you, the reverse holo on these cards are just beautiful. And you can tell it's a Southern Island. They got a little palm tree as the set symbol. The Togepi does not say condition, also sold for $34. We got another Meryl, sold for $29 in near mint. We got a moderately played Mew. Reverse holo sold for $104. And then of course there's going to be a few non-holos in the set. It's a very small set. In my opinion, if you guys want to get into a vintage set to actually master, this is the perfect set to start. Like honestly, the most expensive card is the Mew. We got a PSA 8 here, sold for $205. But I mean, every card is beautiful. I mean, look at this Primeape. Got the Venomoth in the background, lightly played, sold for $11.99. We got the Ivysaur with the little Raticate sticking out and the Togepi, and a PSA 10 sold for $85. I would have bought that. Then the Slowking, I'd probably say the Slowking is the second most expensive card. Lightly played, sold for $34. We got the Ladybug reverse holo, near mint / lightly played, sold for $16. We got the Togepi, doesn't say condition, sold for $24. Another lightly played Marill, $21. We got the Togepi, 7.5 CGC, sold for $49 or best offer. We got a Ladybug here, and a PSA 9 reverse holo, sold for $59 or best offer. Wow, those are some terrible pictures. What else? We got something different. Here's the Butterfree. This is non-holo, $10. We got a PSA 10 Onyx, Gem Mint, sold for $61. Again, I would have bought that. Next, we got the Lapras. That's the Japanese. You can get this set in Japanese too, which they also look great. Just trying to find some different ones. We got the Executor right here, number 13 out of 18, sold for $24.99 near mint. And then here, you can get the actual binder sealed with all the cards, full set, sold for $2,999 or best offer. The binder is relatively cheap too. So, I mean, of course, this is factory sealed. That's why it's worth so much more. But to get the binder and all the cards, it's just going to be probably a few $100, to be honest. And that's a completed vintage Wizards of the Coast set. What else we got? Onyx in a PSA 10, 70 your best offer. We got a CGC 9 Togepi, $55. Another Primeape, says mint for $25. Ivysaur for $12. Lapras for $17. We got the Ladybug with the swirl for $27. Then a Slowking, lightly played plus, and to end it off, we got a Mew, doesn't say condition, $96. I just want to check the condition of this first Mew here, this last sale. Does say near mint, but we will be the judge of that. Not bad. Yeah, top right, that's about it for damage. But yeah, not too bad. I guess a little bit on the bottom right too, and the bottom left. That's why you always got to zoom in. This card is close to lightly played, but not too bad. All right, next we are checking the Wizards of the Coast Black Star promo. This set is also pretty doable, but there is two very expensive cards, which we are also going to take a separate look at. All right, we got some awesome exclusive art, so So we got the Mewtwo Black Star promo lightly played, non-holo, $7.25. We got the Meowth Holo Black Star promo number 10, near mint, $20. We got the Eevee Holo in a CGC 8.5, sold for $23. Awesome Dragonite card stamped with the WB movie promo, sold for about 20 bucks. Is very clean. Again, this is one of my favorite all-time Mew cards. Like the Southern Islands and this original Wizards of the Coast Black Star Mew are in my top 5 favorite Mew cards. Near mint, sold for 100 bucks. This card does come in holo and non-holo, so please make sure you're careful when you're buying them. If it seems too good to be true or something, like really check. The non-holo sold for $2.79, which is just insane. I would have bought that. It says near mint lightly played. Another Dragonite. There is the Birthdays Pikachu in a 10, sold for $2,745. We got the Surfing Pikachu, sold for about 10 bucks, near mint. This is one of my favorite Pikachus. In my opinion, this is my favorite shaped Pikachu. Like, I feel like this is how Pikachu should be shaped. So this is the number 4 WB stamped movie promo. It says near mint, very lightly played, $11.77. So I'll zoom in on that. To me, I don't know why, I feel like that's how Pikachu should be shaped. He's not shaped anything like that now, but that's always been one of my favorite Pikachu cards. We got another Dragonite for very lightly played. We got an awesome Mewtwo with the WB stamped movie promo, lightly played, sold for 10. Surfing Pikachu, $12.50 in near mint. We got the non-holo Mew in a CGC 9, sold for 19. Flying Pikachu, 23. And if you guys didn't know, you know, we've had a few of these cards reprinted before. So Surfing Pikachu in an 8, sold for 34. We got a Pichu reverse holo. Love this Pichu card. Sold for about 24 bucks. We got the Computer Error, sold for 5. We got the Entei, one of my favorite cards. Again, this is another movie promo, $11.99. I seen that movie in theaters. I was obsessed with that movie. I just recently watched it. It's not as good as I remember, but it's still pretty solid. I love Unknown, and I love Entei. Another super cool Pikachu card, $20. Doesn't say condition. Then we got the Zapdos sealed, sold for 9 bucks. We got the Eevee for about 20. We got Team Rocket's Meowth for 8. Another one of those Pikachus. There's the Electabuzz for $2 and lightly played. The Smeargle, near mint, $3.69. We got an Unknown J, sold for $3.85. I want to say this set is like 51 cards or something like that. It could be a few off, but let's see if we can find anything else. So here's a CGC Basic 10 for the non-holo Mew, only sold for $40. I'm surprised. You think that'd be worth a little bit more? That's a Dark Gyarados. Awesome Scyther card right here. Check the Scyther out. Non-holo, but sold for 20 bucks. And we're still on September 2nd, so these cards sell constantly. There's a cool Electabuzz. Doesn't say condition, $14.99. A cool Machamp, sold for $14.99. There we go. There's the Venusaur holo card. One of my all-time favorite Venusaur cards. Sold for $74.95, lightly played. We got the Jigglypuff near mint for 10 bucks. A super cool Arcanine for about $12. Another Pikachu, the Ivy Pikachu they call it. It's got like the little leaves in the background. Sold for $3.60. Let's see if we can find that other Mew card. There it is. Look at that Mew card. One of the cutest all-time Mew cards. Look at that thing. PSA 9 sold for 55 bucks. Anything else? We got a Psyduck here, sold for 35. So honestly, just very affordable. And now we'll check out the big boys. So we got Lucky Stadium. This is number 41. This card is very expensive. I remember when I bought it, I didn't want to buy it. It was like 120 bucks. And I'm like, oh man, that's so expensive. I can get so many awesome cards for this. But these are the last 2 cards I needed for the set. So I did it. And it is pretty cool. You know, a Pichu riding on top of a Pikachu, riding on top of a Charizard is pretty sweet. Last sold $519. We got a PSA 9 sold for $655. Another one for $550. We got another raw here for $500. We got it sealed for $599. We got one here for $949, or best offer, probably pretty clean. Another one $575. Another sealed one for $599, $649. And here's a 9 for $615. I'm so happy I have this card. I could not imagine paying that much money for this card right now. And same with this card. Now, in my opinion, this card is not as nice as the other card, like art-wise, but still pretty solid. I want to say they gave these out at some event or some opening or something like that. It might have been a one-time thing, so that's why they're pretty rare. But I always like to tell people about these cards because I've heard a lot of people get these cards for good deals because if you look at it, it just looks like a regular old-school trainer. You wouldn't think it'd be worth $500-600, and it is. So we got a raw one here for $565. We got a 9 for $681. We got a raw here for $155. Not too bad. Probably not the best condition. Again, we got another PSA 9 here, sold for $599. We got a sealed for $599, sealed for $599, sealed for $500, our best offer. We got one here for $499 raw. We got another raw one here for $749. It's just wild, the price differences. Another sealed for $649. We got a basic CGC 10 sold for $999, our best offer. And then right here, we got a sealed one sold for $1,249, our best offer, which is just crazy. Here's another basic CGC 10 for $950, sealed for $700. Wow. Honestly, pretty insane for these two cards. So I'm so happy I have them. All right, now for the rest, we're going to do this every week where we check crystal cards, gold star, shinies. We're just going to check the last week's recent sales on eBay. So for crystal, we got a PSA 9 Japanese crystal Charizard, sold for $6,000, our best offer. Next, we got a Kabutops raw, sold for $235 with $35 in shipping. I love that Kabutops card. Next, we got a PSA 3. Now, this is the reverse hollow Charizard from Skyridge, sold for $575. And we got a PSA 8 Kabutops crystal card, $600, our best offer. And last on the list, we got a Japanese Ho-Oh Skyridge Hollow E-Series card. It says heavily played, $212. So the crystal cards, there's not very many crystal cards, so there's not a ton of sales constantly. Next, we got the gold star cards. There's a lot of gold star cards compared to crystal cards, so there's always a good amount of sales. So we got the Gyarados Delta Species gold star in a PSA 7, sold for $1,178 plus $75 in shipping. We got a Mew PSA 4 gold star, sold for about $500 shipped. We got a raw Flareon lightly played, sold for $379 plus $5 in shipping. Next, we got a PSA 2 Gold Star Pikachu, sold for $375. We got a PSA 6 Gold Star Alakazam, sold for $380. Then we got a Gold Star PSA 1 Regirock, sold for $350, your best offer. So funny, the PSA 1s, how they're actually more expensive than a 2 or 3 or a 4. Just blows my mind. Next, we got a Mewtwo PSA 7, sold for $900, our best offer. We got another Mew, but remember, there is a World Championship Mew. You can tell by the silver border, so it's not the same card. It's worth way less. And a PSA 5 sold for $147. We got a raw Gold Star Pikachu, sold for $600 plus $9 in shipping. And to end it off, we got the PSA 7 Gold Star Vaporeon, sold for $516 plus $22 in shipping. Next, we got the Shiny Neo card, some of my favorite cards. We got the Unlimited Shiny Mewtwo, does not say condition, $268. Look at that. We got a Unlimited Shiny Noctowl graded by Tag, got a 5.5, sold for about $90. Honestly, whenever I see anything like that, under $100, I'm picking it up. Next, we got the first edition Shining Tyranitar in a basic CGC 10, sold for $3,200. We got an Unlimited Shining Gyarados, sold for $175. We got the Shining Kabutops, sold for $163, your best offer, unlimited. There we got a CGC 9.5 first edition Shining Gyarados, sold for $1,800. Then we got a PSA 1 Unlimited Shining Tyranitar, sold for $190. We got an Unlimited Shining Magikarp, sold for $218. That's pretty decent. We got a first edition Shining Noctowl in a PSA 8, sold for $365. Unlimited Shining Charizard in a PSA 9, sold for $1,678. Unlimited Shining Magikarp in a PSA 9, sold for $465. We got an Unlimited Shining Steelix. If you guys did not know, Shining Steelix and the Noctowl are the two cheapest cards you can get. This is a PSA 5, sold for $160. Unlimited Shining Gyarados. Looks like I can see damage right there. Yep, damage $147, or best offer. PSA 9 Unlimited Shining Mewtwo, 940 your best offer. First edition Shining Magikarp, sold for $255. That's not bad. Next, we got a Shining Raichu First Edition PSA 9, sold for $1,080. Next, we got a SGC 4 Unlimited Shining Mewtwo, 220 your best offer. And I just seen one of the rarest baseball cards in the world, like a couple $1 million card, graded by SGC. So, yeah, definitely a lot of people do use those, especially in the vintage sports area. Next, we got a Unlimited Shining Raichu in a PSA 9, $550. We got a Unlimited Shining Steelix in a 9, $341. We got the Shining Magikarp from Celebrations in a PSA 10, sold for $50. Unlimited Shining Gyarados, $463, says near mint. And we got a CGC 3 Shining Charizard, sold for $479. Then we got a First Edition Mewtwo, but it says Unlimited, sold for $280, which is very, very cheap for a First Edition. All right, then we got a PSA 9 First Edition Shining Charizard, sold for $5,200 our best offer. And to end it all off, we got a Unlimited Shining Tyranitar PSA 7, sold for $365. Next, we are checking on some Call of Legends shiny cards. So we got the PSA 8 Kyogre, sold for $241. We got a lightly played Lugia, sold for $199. We got an Italian here, Lugia, even though I put English, sold for $140. We got the English Suicune, sold for $70. It's lightly played. We got a PSA 9 Suicune, sold for $399. We got the Ho-Oh in a Beckett 9, sold for $301 our best offer. We got the Entei, sold for $59. Not too bad, does not say conditions. And remember, I do always check near mint or lightly played, even though that doesn't really matter half the time for eBay. But next, we got a Dialga here, lightly played, sold for $85 our best offer. We got the Groudon, near mint, $122. We got the Raikou right here, about with shipping, $75. Does not say condition. Entei, about $50. Again, doesn't say condition. We got the Rayquaza, $121 plus $5 in shipping. And we got the Deoxys, probably one of my favorite ones. The purple just pops on that card. This sold for $90. And we got a PSA 8 Entei, sold for $105. I feel like that's a pretty good deal. Then we got a Kyogre for $50, another Kyogre for $250. Super crazy. And to end it all off, we got a raw Lugia for $269. And we got the Ho-Oh in a PSA 8 for $221. Pretty good value on those cards, I must say. Next, some of my all-time favorite Pokemon cards ever created. We got the Team Rockets Suicune EX in a PSA 6, sold for $229. We got the Rockets Entei, heavily played, sold for $119. We got the Rockets Mewtwo in a PSA 6 with a swirl, sold for $599. We got the Sneasel right here in a CGC 10, sold for $321. We got the Scyther in a CGC 10, the basic 10s, sold for $521. We got the Scizor in a basic CGC 10, sold for $520. We got a raw Rocket Scyther, sold for $110. We got the Hitmonchan, one of my favorite ones, sold for $117, says near mint. We got the Articuno, $200 or best offer. Mewtwo again for $399 and a CGC 7.5. We got a PSA 9 Hitmonchan, sold for $300. Entei in a PSA 9, sold for $284 and it's Japanese. The Articuno, $299 or best offer and a PSA 8. We got a raw Articuno, $200 or best offer. PSA 7. Articuno, $205, and that's sold from Z&G Emporium. He's a Pokemon YouTuber. Next, we got the Rockets Scizor EX, sold for $150 your best offer. And we got the Rockets Snorlax in a PSA 7, $425. I swear, this might be my second favorite all-time set. We got a raw Suicune here for $525 or best offer. There's the Zapdos in a basic CGC 10, sold for $650. And the Moltres right here in a PSA 9, sold for $350 or best offer. And to end it all off, we got the Rockets Moltres here in a PSA 9, $350 or best offer. All right, last on the list, we are going to check some first edition base set holo cards, which is just annoying to even like type into eBay because, I mean, there's multiple base sets. It was driving me nuts to actually find first edition cards. But we got some. We got a Beckett 6.5 first edition Shadowless Charizard, sold for $5,600. We got a first edition Shadowless Blastoise, sold for $315. Doesn't say condition. We got the Nidoking. Definitely looks a little rough. First edition, $145 or best offer. We got a first edition Shadowless Charizard. It says AA. Is that altered, I think? Authentic altered? Huh. Sold for $690. Then we got an unlimited Charizard there for $225. We got a first edition Chansey Hollow and a PSA 7 sold for $439. We got the unlimited Machamp. Honestly, a lot more value than I thought it would have. I mean, a PSA 9 for $150 for the unlimited first edition Machamp is better than I thought it was going to be. Next, we got a Shadowless Charizard and a Beckett 7 sold for $1,235. We got a Beckett 9 first edition Shadowless Ninetales sold for $808. Says thin stamp, but I've noticed the thin stamp, thick stamp, it doesn't even really make a huge price difference anymore. We got another Chansey in a PSA 7 for $449. We got a Raichu in a Beckett 7.5 first edition. Man, I love those Beckett slabs. That sold for $400. We got a French Venusaur. And if you guys didn't know, a lot of the other languages, they'll be first edition, but they will have that shadowed border. So I think it is only English that has the Shadowless first edition. We got another regular base set Charizard for $299. Here we got a first edition Shadowless Mewtwo, PSA 8 sold for $995. We got a Beckett 8.5 first edition Shadowless Venusaur in $1,600 or best offer. A Beckett 8 Chansey first edition sold for $550 or best offer. We got another Mewtwo in a PSA 6 sold for $759. And then we got a Beckett 8 first edition thick stamp Charizard, $11,695. We got a raw Zapdos, doesn't say condition, $220. Base set 2 Charizard for $170. Another first edition Shadowless Zapdos for $199. And here we got the actual first edition Shadowless Machamp in a PSA 8 sold for $229 or best offer. Then we got another Zapdos first edition sold for $269 lightly played. We got a Shadowless Alakazam in a Beckett 9 sold for $600. We got a PSA 6 first edition Shadowless Charizard sold for $5,450. We got a first edition Jungle Mr. Mime in a CGC 9. Unlimited Charizard for $285. We got a CGC 9.5 unlimited first edition Machamp Hollow, $175. Ooh, we got a near mint 8.5 first edition Shadowless Charizard sold for $16,000 or best offer. Pretty crazy getting up there. Next, we got another first edition Shadowless Nidoking for $195 or best offer. We got an unlimited Zapdos and a PSA 9 for $225. There we got the Poliwrath here, one of my favorite cards, and a PSA 7 first edition sold for $449 or best offer. It's basically your best bet to get a first edition Shadowless card. Poliwrath is pretty affordable. And we'll do a couple more here. We got the Alakazam first edition. Looks clean just from this picture, but it says model you played $550. We got a Nidoking right here, $380 or best offer. Does not say condition. We got a Chansey CGC 5.5 sold for $250. And we'll end it off on a first edition Shadowless Venusaur sold for $665. Let's check the condition on this one because I'm curious. Venusaur never gets the love. Let's see what we got here. Not terrible, but not mint, obviously. It says near mint or better. I wouldn't really consider that one near mint. Definitely a little more lightly played. But otherwise, I'm telling you, nothing looks cleaner than those no shadow borders and that first edition stamp. I'm actually working on trying to complete this set again. I already have this set complete for unlimited, Shadowless, and first edition, but I am on my way to doing this again in first edition. I have most of the commons and uncommons and some of the non-holo rares, and I have the Venusaur and Blastoise and Machamp and maybe the Alakazam or something like that, but I need quite a bit more to complete it again, but I would love to complete this set all over again. It's so much fun. But all right, that was today's Pokemon Throwback Thursday. If you guys want to check out my last Pokemon What If Wednesday, click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.